I think Emerson would share a similar opinion on competition with me, that we shouldn't compete with others as much as we should compete with ourselves. To transcend society's traditions and dogma requires a person who can continually push his own limits to their reach instead of simply trying to best others. Competition is a necessary evil in the sense that such conflict is usually what brings out our drive to excel. But competition's intrinsic nature is to build by breaking down. It brings out a survival of the fittest mentality that may result in elitism, apathy, or cruelty, all of which damage a community. I believe Emerson would want each of us to measure our worth in terms of strictly our own accomplishments, instead of using other people's as reference.
Competition, being ego-based, forms in a community in which all strive for a common goal. And so the fact that competition is ego-based makes the common strive a conformity. And so
can you say that again, please? The fact that it's ego-based makes the
common strive a conformity.
Makes the common strive a conformity.
Yeah. And so it's often conjured by society to drive industrial.
Emily, your answer that you wrote in the practice?
Emerson feels that competition is a result of society and ego mind interacting. Competition appears when there is a group of people and all means egoism has not yet vanished. We only feel the need to be better than someone else when we are part of a society and are ego-based. The competition causes the disunity that is the problem of society. We can only be united through that being an equal mind, when we have no feeling of competition.
Can you slow down for a second? We can only be what? Backing up, we can only be what?
United through the being and not the mind, when we have no feeling of competition. Competition does not mean non-conformity and is therefore not a result of individualism.
Do the last sentence again, you know it, please. We're trying to understand what you're saying.
Competition does not mean non-conformity and is therefore not a result of individualism.
Okay, thank you. Are you sure? You sure? That your sisters? Steph Chan, Detroit, California, knife shirt.
Thank you. It is okay to receive motivation from external competition, but the true drive must come from within the self. You do something because it's what you want, not for the sake of competing, which would be conforming to competition. In the end, it is one's own ability to think and rely upon oneself that is truly self-reliance. External competition is secondary to the wishes of the being.
Steph Chen did, I would say, the most precise, concise job in answering this question. Very clear, crisp, and to the point.
Competition, I trust, is healthiest when it concerns internal elements rather than external. To Emerson, competition with your own being, to strive for more and achieve higher goals at each attempt, matters more than competing with other people. But it is not competition in the sense of survival, more like competition in the sense of removing limits set on your potential, competition to push our own potential higher and harder for every play.
That was a fantastic.
Emerson believes that competition somewhat destroys community because once there is competition, one will try and overcome or exceed something. Like go farther, but not beyond, but farther. So it's not like transcending. Just what Kenny said, like expand. And then like going farther is the mind trying to gain more and win. There is competition everywhere, especially in this society. This competition at times makes people want to imitate or become envious. We may imitate others and try to become like them because they have a favorable trait that we lack, that we think we lack. Destroying love for the human community, and this is destroying love for the human community and destroying essence. We are also envious when there is competition because we want to be as good as or even better than our competitor. The sense of community and oneness is clearly destroyed because in competition, one is not thinking of equality. There are levels in competition.
Indeed, and that's a perfect point to leave off at because we do need to distinguish. Not all.
Just start reading your.
For Emerson and Self-Reliance, the stress issue is about not conforming to the society and staying true to the essence. People often assume that a community needs to be a group of conformists working for unity. However, what Emerson has meant was not to be the identical copy of each other. Instead, the community is to be with all parts combining into one. The community is a combination of the essences of all individuals, striving to the unlimited growth within the being.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ivy. Kathy?
The most common misunderstanding readers conclude from self-reliance is going too black and white with individualism. Readers tend to think Emerson is communicating that one should be isolated from the society and not conform to any parts of it. But the word community does not mean imitating or being what the society is. It means working together or with each other. Therefore, Emerson is saying not to become or try to be like others. Discover your own essence, but also work together with others of the community to grow and develop as a whole.
Beautiful, Kathy. Thank you. Is this Vincent now?
The common misunderstanding of Emerson's self-reliance is that individualism is pursued solely for selfish reasons. Rather than being an end in itself, individualism is more of a means to improving one's community by improving oneself. A person who has attained growth has more to offer to his community as opposed to a mere conforming drum. The basic idea of self-reliance is that the person breaks out of societal binds, achieves and explores being, and then returns to the community with more to offer and contribute to it.
Incredibly precise, clear understanding. Yep. Vincent.
The most common misunderstanding of Emerson's essay, Self-Reliance, will be his emphasis on the self. People might criticize him for promoting self-centeredness and, frankly, narcissism. However, Emerson makes a distinction between the self that others perceive and the true self inside of us. We need to expand and develop and trust the latter self, not trust the ego mind, which is the first self. The second self is a universal being. So if we trust it, it is not so much an obsession for oneself, but a trust in the spirit that permeates through all of life. If everyone trusts the power inside of them, the world would be a unified body of individuals, because the spirit inside connects all life. So in fact, Emerson is promoting unity of the world.
Great job, Fiona. Really high level of understanding.
The most common misunderstanding of self-reliance is that to honor individualism and to live with individuality means that we do not work together. However, Emerson does not state this, and in fact states that we are one, and therefore we should live as a community, a whole, with each other and working together. When we all have our own individuality and we come together as a community, we form a complex whole. We gather all creativity and ideas and make a beautiful, powerful, unified body of individuals.
Unified body of what?